Ambassador go the check, and governor go the check, and president go the check. When I say make we jump, we go jump. Ambassador go the check, and president go the check, and governor go the check. When I say make we jump, we go jump.
Hey friends, if this is your first time on my channel, you're most definitely welcome. If you're a returning watcher, thank you so much for sticking with your girl. And you know I must have that fire if you're back. So I'm super excited to start talking to you guys about the next topic in like my pre-med playlist. So let's get into it. So today I'm going to be talking about making a post-bac decision. And I think this is something that I personally also thought about too. I was at a crossroads in my college career where I had to ask myself, am I going to do a post-bac? I want to tell you guys things to think about when deciding to make that decision. I want to start off by saying that there are different reasons that people decide to do a post-bac. One of them could be that you're not doing well in school and you just want to take a break from the classes and address them at a later time. Maybe you don't want to. Maybe you just want to focus on your major right now, or maybe like you're unable to fit in everything into 4 years. It's possible that you didn't know you wanted to do medicine until you graduated college, and that is also another reason to do a post-bac. So there are different reasons why people decide to do a post-bac. You should make that decision for yourself. Trust and know that if this is the decision for you, it's going to work out for you. So that's what I want to say. So I'm going to address the post-bac decision from a perspective of asking yourself if you should stop taking classes at your current institution. So that was a situation I was in. So basically my freshman year, after general chemistry, Chem 31A and B was just not working for me. Like I was going this way and it was going this way, and we weren't here. So me and chemistry we were not getting along at all. And I remember telling one of my RAs who I believe was pre-med, and she was like, oh, well, you know, you could always do a post-bac. I mean, you don't have to take classes here. And I was like, oh, really? Then that's what I'm going to do. I don't have to do anything I don't want to. I'm not going to take any classes. I don't have to take them here. So I won't, because they're hard. And I think that was my only understanding of it, and I didn't weigh the pros and cons, and I didn't understand the implications of just saying that I wanted to do a post-bac. So after I had made that decision of like, okay, I don't have to do them here, I'm not going to do them. By I think my junior year, I, started doing more research. I started getting more serious about, going to medical school, and I did more research, and I saw that, post-bacs cost money. Well, yes, but money after college. You're not getting your scholarships, you're not getting a degree from this. And I realized, wow, I was looking at post-bac programs, I'm like, ooh, that's a lot of money, and I don't know if I want to spend extra money to take classes that I can be taking here for free, and I sat down with myself and I said, Sean, why exactly are you doing a post-bac? Because the classes are too hard here. Like, that's why you're doing a post-bac, so you're going to waste, I don't want to use the word waste, you're going to spend thousands of dollars to take classes that you could have taken here for free. You're not paying to be at Stanford right now. Your education is free right now, so take advantage of that. Maximize, what you're doing. So I told myself, okay, I'm not going to do a post-bac. So my decision to not do a post-bac, and I ended up doing post-bac work, which I'll talk about later in the video, but my decision to not do post-bac was purely financial, because your girl don't have the coin for post-bac. So it was purely financial. But that's something to think about. You want to think about, are you in a financial position to do a post-bac? And when I was talking with a friend about it, she was like, look, if you want to be a doctor, you're going to have to drop some money. You're going to have to take out loans. You're going to have to do whatever it is you have by any means necessary. So if that means taking out loans for a post-bac, if that's what you have to do, that's what you have to do. But you have to make that decision for yourself. And Oluwaseun was not comfortable with taking out loans for a post-bac. So I said, I'm not going to do it. But that's something to think about. That is a financial aspect of making a decision to do a post-bac. I think another thing to think about is assessing you as a student. Are you capable of taking the classes and doing well where you are? And that was also something I had to ask myself too. And I said, okay, Sean, we've taken about 2 chemistry classes. You got C's in both of them, so that didn't go well. You withdrew from organic chemistry. You're not doing well, but like maybe you should try again. Like, let's try another class and let's see if we change something, we do better, right? So that's kind of what I thought. And I said to myself, okay, I'm gonna hop back in. I'm gonna take biology, and I'm gonna be serious now. I'm gonna study. I'm gonna I'm gonna be serious. And I made the decision to continue because I felt like I hadn't given myself enough chances to actually do well in science classes at Stanford, right? I think 2 chemistry classes, especially in my freshman year. For me, as a freshman coming into college, you don't know how to study. You don't know what you're doing. So you take a really hard class your very first year of college. Of course, you're not going to do well for many reasons, right? So I told myself, okay, I'm older now. I've been doing this college thing for a while. So let me try again. Let me see if the maturity aspect of it will help, right? And I decided to continue. Like I said, and I've said this in a previous video, I only had 2 years to complete a major and like fill in a whole bunch of classes to get a college degree. And I also wanted to fit in as many pre-med classes as well because I didn't want to take a post-bac. I didn't want to spend money. And after planning my 2 years, I saw, okay, the only thing I cannot take or I don't feel comfortable taking along with all these other classes I'm taking is physics. And I said, okay, this is going to be the one class I will not take at Stanford. I will do it somewhere else, but I must finish everything else here. By force, by fire, I must do it. So that's what I did. And like when I said I did post-bac work, after I graduated, I took physics at a community college, which is considered post-bac, but it's like not formal. It's not a formal post-bac, so whatever. And I want to talk about something. There's this kind of, question of like, okay, does it look worse to take prerequisite classes at a community college as opposed to a 4-year institution? And I think it's hard because I feel like I've heard different things where people are like, oh yeah, medical schools look down if you took it at a community college because it's easier at a community college. And I've also heard, I mean, you took it, so what's the issue? As long as you took it, that's all that matters. Whether it was a 4-year or 2-year institution, you took it. And there are some schools that will let you know if they don't accept community college credit. So that's some research you should do when deciding whether you're going to do a post-bac or if you're going to, postpone taking a certain class. However, I want to say that organic chemistry is hard, point blank, period. Whether you are taking it at a community college or Stanford University, organic chemistry is just hard. It's a hard class, right? But the difference between those two is the learning environment and the people you'll be taking the class with. And that's where the real difference is in success. I think some people are better able to succeed at a harder class in a smaller class size, where there's more one-on-one attention, where the professors are more accessible. Some people are okay with succeeding in an organic chemistry class full of like 100 students and where maybe they don't even know the professor's name, right? It depends on who you are, right? And you have to be able to determine what learning environment you learn best in and you succeed best in as well. And that is what I think helps. I'm a firm believer of you can succeed in any learning environment as long as you adapt properly. And that's the key, right? Because at one point I wasn't doing well in Stanford classes, and then I started getting A's in some really hard Stanford classes, right? So I was able to adapt, but I also was able to do really, really well in physics at a community college too. And those were, trust me, they were 2 different learning environments. I will tell you that now. 2 different learning environments, and I succeeded in both. So I'm a huge proponent of thinking that you can succeed in both environments, but you need to make the decision for yourself which one you want to do, right? And what will lead to what will maximize your success? That is the question you should ask. Okay, if I decide to take physics at a community college, will that maximize my success in the class? And if the answer is yes, then do that. If the answer is no, then take it at Stanford or take it at your institution, or some people take it online. I'm very iffy with online classes. I think it's a way greater gray area. So do not take if you can avoid it, don't take chemistry online. Don't do that. Take it in person. Don't take it online. But medical schools are very iffy about that, so online classes is a bit more complex than the whole 4-year versus 2-year institution debate. I also want to talk about the kinds of post-bacs you can do as well. So basically, there are formal post-bacs where it's you apply to a program as if you're applying to like any other kind of education program. You apply to the program and they have structure of when you're taking this class, when you're taking this class, how many credits you have to take to complete your formal post-bac and all this kind of stuff. But there's also unstructured ones where maybe you apply and you pick and choose the classes you want to take, or maybe like, there's advanced level bio classes you can take. And also kind of like post-bac work. I guess it goes under the unstructured umbrella, but I call it post-bac work, where you don't have more than 1 class to complete, 1 or 2 classes to complete. If you only have like 1 to 2 classes to complete, that's post-bac work. That's not a post-bac. If you have to take 3 or more classes, I feel like that's more like I'm post-bac, But that's just my personal opinion. I do not know it all, and I am not one to say this is definite. But I feel like if you only have to take 1 to 2 classes, that's just light post-bac work, and that's fine. So I'm just gonna, summarize the pros and cons of post-bac and things to think about before deciding whether that's something you want to do. So the first pro of a post-bac is if it's formal, chances are that they have, the support to make sure you do well in the post-bac program, because the point of the post-bac program is to take classes that you were not able to take in your undergrad institution and do well. So there's going to be a lot more support, a lot more advising. Some even offer MCAT prep courses along with the program, so it's kind of like a package. You get to take the classes you need and you get prepared for the MCAT. Some will write you a letter of recommendation. They'll promise like a letter of recommendation at the end of the program. Some post-bac programs are attached to medical school, so they guarantee that you will get an interview after you complete the post-bac program and do well in it. And I think those are really nice pros, because you are maximizing your post-bac time. So like, for example, for me, because I was only taking physics, I still had to figure out how to study for the MCAT. Like, I didn't have structured support for studying for the MCAT. I just, had to get books, take a prep course, and figure out my life on my own. Versus if you're in like a post-bac program, they've integrated that into the curriculum and they will hook you up and give you the resources you need. And I think that's strategic, and that's really cool. Doing a post-bac will count towards your undergraduate GPA. This is very, very, very important. Post-bac means that, okay, this is after you've gotten your bachelor's degree, but you're not pursuing an advanced degree. So every class you take in your post-bac work will count towards your undergraduate GPA. So let's say you graduated your undergraduate GPA with a 3.0, and then you do post-bac work, or you do a post-bac program and you do well, your undergrad GPA is gonna go up. It's gonna go all the way up, right? Versus if you do a master's program, or like, a master's of public health, that is considered a master's GPA. And if you graduated your undergrad GPA with a 2.5, that 2.5 does not change just because you got A's in your master program. That 2.5 is still there, and then there's a 4.0 for a master's program. So it's important, because when applying to schools, they do separate those GPAs. They separate undergraduate GPA from advanced degree GPAs. I think the cons of a post-bac is you're spending a lot of money and you're not getting a degree out of it. You're investing in your own career. That's basically what it is. That's the way I see it. You're investing in getting yourself to the next step, which is medical school. But you don't get a degree. You may get a certificate, but you can't really apply to a job with a certificate. So there's that. So I think that's a con, right? Because you could easily spend the same amount of money on a post-bac for a master's program and you have another degree, So it's kind of like cost benefits of like, do I want to spend $50,000 and have a master's degree at the end, or do I want to spend $50,000 and have a certificate, but I only still have a bachelor's degree? And they're expensive. That was the reason why I didn't want to do a formal post-bac. They're expensive, and I don't have money. So those are some things to think about. I hope this video was informative. Please be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel.